created free, created me. I was brought into this world to live authentically, living my life, and it's full of freedom. Nothing in this world that I can't overcome, 'cause I'm created free, created me. I stepped out into this world with my audacity. I'm living bold and I'm full of life, 'cause I am perfectly created free. I'm loving myself, loving myself, loving myself, loving
Hey, beautiful soul. Welcome to the Created Free Podcast. I am your proud host, August Crenshaw, aka Mrs. Raw, Real, and Relentless. And you're here because the words created free sound good, but you're working on making it more of a reality in your life. So stick around as we discuss and challenge all that we know and feel about relationships, religion, business, spirituality, emotions, and so much more. Whatever life is throwing at us, okay? It's a topic of discussion. And then watch me show how this is impacting the way that you're showing up as an entrepreneur. So we're going to be challenging authenticity, and we're going to get to the root of who we really are and what we desire, and make sure we're doing everything that we can to manifest a life that we love. All right, so let's get into it. Hey, beautiful soul. Can we have a conversation about some money that you're missing out on? Of course, you always want to know how to get to your money, right? I want to tell you guys that most of you are missing the opportunities to increase your income because you only view the power of collaborations from the perspective of getting access to someone who has greater influence than you. A lot of people I notice when I'm like in different groups, when it comes to collaborating, like if you're in some type of organization and the head honcho has more of what appears to be a celebrity type status, there's this, oh my God, I need to get on their stage. I need to be in, their mastermind, a part of their collective. And you think that, like, if I do that, that's my clout. You know what I'm saying? And from there, everybody's going to see me. They're going to know my name, and I'm going to make a shit ton of money. And bam, overnight, I'm a success. And I'm here to tell you that rapid growth and financial increase is right there with the people that are next to you who are getting it in the mud. I'm getting it out the mud just like you. Now I'm going to give some clarity, right? Because, I'm not saying that leadership and coaching is not important. I'm not saying that you're just supposed to link up with every low level, entrepreneur that's next to you and just start collaborating with anybody and everybody to make some money. But, just give me a second to illustrate. And so whether you like him or not, I have definitely learned what it means to chew the meat and spit out the bone, or don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Those expressions were said so much when I was younger, but I really, really, truly didn't get it. So anywho, I know that you may not be a Kanye fan. Some of you are still loyal fans no matter what. Some of you never were. But if you watch his documentary on Netflix, it is fucking powerful. And so this billionaire, we won't talk about what happened with the billionaire status, but this guy who rose up to being a mogul in the entertainment industry, at one point when he was struggling to make it in his career and to really get his album produced and achieve the success that he really desired, he actually gave Jay-Z the beat. For the people that's in my era, H to the is O. Hey, that was Kanye's beat. And there are people that knew him and knew that beat. But you want to know what? Kanye still didn't blow up. Jay-Z was an icon at that point. He was already, going places and doing things and making money. And even though he supplied the beat, and he at one point was like, hey, look, you need to let me get on a verse. he still didn't blow up. And it makes me think about people like Snoop Dogg back in the day who brought on people like Warren G. Being connected to people that are successful does not guarantee or grant you your success. And so that whole statement of, look at the 5 people you're around and, that's what your future gonna look like. And that tells who you gonna be in the next 5 years and so on and so forth. Once again, chew the meat and spit off the bone. Don't even just take all of this shit in and be like, hey, that means that I'm going to be successful. Because there are a lot of you who have joined some of these masterminds, these organizations, and you're around these people, and a lot of you, you're literally paying so you can be connected to other people who are making the kind of money that you're making because you want to collaborate with them. And while there is a science to that, while there is truth to that, it is not the only way to become successful. And at the end of the day, even though they may not say it to you this way, no matter how brilliant you may be, if you haven't paid a certain level of dues, it just ain't going to happen for you. And not necessarily because they're hating, but when you are on this journey, like I remember when I first started, I was taking everybody with me. Everybody going to go, and I was going to do this for this person and so on and so forth. As I went on this journey, the way that my soul and my spirit was broken down in order for me to be built back up, the amount of people who did not have my back, that didn't offer any form of support, that really showed me that they had nothing to give me when I was at some of my lowest of lows, I was like, wow, I went from being hurt to finally understanding that they couldn't even make the level of sacrifices because they didn't have the same level of vision or faith that I had. So it did end up turning from bitterness to just like acceptance of that's who they are and what they are. But there's certain things that I wouldn't do for those people because people like to try to count your money, when you become successful, tell you what you should do, how you should invest, where you should spend your time, and not just your money, but even your influence. So I've even had people be like, oh, you should talk about this on your platform. And I'm like, if it's so important to you, why don't you have a platform and why aren't you speaking on it? Because people don't necessarily really want to step into the full trenches. And so being connected, you guys could spend all this money to be in these masterminds. But let me also just throw this little curveball in there. A lot of these masterminds are so fucking expensive. And even though they may be hella successful and may have brought in like 9 million for the year or whatever it is, a lot of them are literally greedy. Yeah, I know that's a judgmental statement to make, but that ain't enough. They got to go to 50 million. And so they're rapidly increasing the pricing, and it ain't got nothing to do with keeping up with inflation or leaving a legacy, but they cost so much. It's like they push the bar to see just how much money they can give. A lot of people in these masterminds, they be needing each other's services and they don't even pay each other. They barter for one another's services because they've given all of the money to the head honcho. And so back to the point at hand, your money, your gold mine is actually right next to you. When I got out here in these internet streets, so just kind of give you all a little bit of a background, I technically started in 2015, and I just was writing ebooks and putting them out there, and then thinking that was like going to be, I didn't even have a CRM system initially, but that was supposed to be my lead generation, even though I wasn't even using that terminology. Well, writing the books and having people just reach out to me like a magical, pill or something, that didn't end up happening. And so when I finally got some real coaching, and I learned about collaboration, my first real coach I call her my first real coach. That was Stacy. She taught me the framework for doing summits. And yes, I did reach out to some people who looked like they were more advanced and further along than I was, but I was paying attention to the people that are around me because real recognize real. And I was talking to other women in business, and I was like, look, I began to see holes in other people's shit. And I was like, okay, well, she may have a hole in her system because she don't have this or have that, but I'm looking at the power and how she's showing up and her authority. I'm listening to her messaging. I'm peeping her expertise, and I'm like, hey, I see you. I need an expert in this area, to speak on my summit and so on and so forth. And so what ended up happening is the majority of the people that were in my summits, they actually were just as hungry as I was to be successful. And so because I also cultivated an environment that called for, that it created like an amazingly high level of excitement, these people were promoting just as viciously as me. And so while my first summit did not get a million bazillion opt-ins, I got quality people that were at the event. And it was such a good turnout because of the relationships that were built. In 60 days, I turned around and I built another summit that catered to the needs of the people, and some of the same people. There were a few new folks, but majority of the people in the second summit were people that I had already collaborated with. And we went out there, we hit them streets again. And I ended up going from a person that was barely able to bring in like a couple, $1,000 into their account, into their business, to an individual who went from maybe $2,500 to like rapidly up to $6,000. And then I just kept going and going. And then before I knew it, I had hit my first 10K month without even realizing it in January of 2018. And I'm going to tell you something. Some of those people that had the influence, I was pissed off that I did a collaboration with them because their promotional muscle was lazy. What they said they would do, they didn't do. Girl, I started tweaking my contracts based on the bullshit that I dealt with from people who were so-called successful. And it was like, gee whiz, at the end of the day, if you made an agreement to at least do this, I wasn't mad at them because they didn't do extra. I was like, you're not even doing the minimal amount, and I'm having to be in your ass. Like, do you really care about this? Because I positioned this as a movement, not just some bullshit lead generation thingamabobber. And so at the end of the day, it's always been the other people who have that hunger that are connected to me, that have put the most energy and excitement. The individuals who felt like, oh yeah, this is opportunity. Hey, I can do it. It'll give me, I see they gonna be promoting like a motherfucker, so I can get an opportunity to get more eyeballs on me. And if I do get some more leads or whatever, hey, I'm being featured. It's no motherfucking sweat up off my back. So while you may not know how to collaborate, you don't understand maybe what the contract should look like or how you create the ideal experience and things of that nature, there is a way to do these types of things with wisdom. And that's why you reach out to someone like me for coaching. But ultimately, opportunities are right there with you. They're right there with you. It's the person that's beside you. It's the person that you got to learn to see the diamond in the rough, because the one that looks like the diamond and is shining, they ain't necessarily really trying to help you grow like that. They don't even necessarily respect you like that. I'll give you one more example. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not going to work with certain people because of their attitudes about lead generation. If you make me feel like you want to work with me because of my ability to generate leads, that's not gonna work, boo-boo, because I'm willing to put money behind the leads I get. I'm willing to pay. And what are you willing to do? Oh, you don't want to pay, so my leads have a different level of value. So it's not even always about disrespect. Like, please internalize everything that I'm saying. So, I'm going to need you to have a certain level of respect for opportunities if you collab with me, because I'm willing to put money on the line. And you, on the other hand, may only want to do organic strategy. And while I value organic strategy heavily, because that's really all I had in the beginning, the point is I'm willing to put my money where my mouth is. And so like I said, some people, you trying so hard to get to them because of their celebrity status, their high level of influence, or whatever it is that you think that they got that you don't, but you don't understand the work that they put into getting that. So slow down, recognize who you are, and don't look down on people that are right next to you, because you could really be getting it in. You could get the bag and the people are right by your side. So quit trying to get to the mountaintop and collaborate with motherfuckers that may not not even really give a fuck about how successful you are, because at the end of the day, they good. All right. So that's your nugget for today. All these things that I've said, utilize them. This is why we got to show up powerfully online. And when we do market ourselves, when we are doing online video, when we're doing posting, when we're on these sales calls, you got to be a badass, because at the end of the day, it's your business, it's your bag. All right. So I'll holler at y'all later. Get your free case study. Deuces. Yes. Thank you for tuning in to the Created Free podcast. But it ain't over yet, baby. Don't forget to head over to augustcrenshaw.com/gift and get your free case study. I'm hoping that you are realizing more and more how everything is connected, and this is impacting how your marketing muscle looks in your business, especially as it pertains to copy, video, and then also your sales muscle. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a 5-star review. Share this episode with someone you know that needs it, and just stay tuned, and we'll be back to discuss another topic next week or whenever the hell I feel like it. All right, you all have a beautiful day. Deuces.